The most powerful government on earth took the richest university on earth to court over anti-Semitism, and a judge in Boston effectively told it, "Your evidence is too thin." This is the second time in barely a year that Donald Trump's administration has marched into a federal courtroom to bring Harvard to heel, and the second time it has walked out empty-handed. From Berlin, the striking thing is not the argument itself. It's watching a president use the machinery of the state to punish a private university and calling it a fight against discrimination. Let us be precise about the ruling. A federal court in Boston has thrown out the government's lawsuit accusing Harvard of tolerating anti-Semitism. The judge's reasoning was blunt. The incidents cited were, in his words, too isolated and episodic to prove that the university is breaking the law today. Most of them, he noted, date from 2023 and 2024 in the raw aftermath of the Hamas attacks of October 2023. Now, anti-Semitism on campus is a genuine and serious problem. Europeans, of all people, do not take that lightly. And in the months after October 7th, there were ugly scenes at American universities that deserved a real reckoning. Harvard's handling was, at times, feeble. But here is where the outsider notices something Americans have learned to shrug off. The Justice Department filed this suit in March. Back then, the Attorney General framed it as proof the government would no longer tolerate discrimination and would demand more from universities. Noble words. Except, this is the same administration that had already stripped Harvard of federal research funding, money for science, for medicine, for cancer labs, until a different federal court ruled that move unlawful last year and ordered the cash released. So follow the sequence. First, cut the funding. Court says no. Then, sue over anti-Semitism. Court says no. The consistent thread is not the legal theory, which keeps collapsing. The consistent thread is the target. The White House accuses large parts of American academia of being too left liberal and too soft on anti-Semitism, and it reaches for federal money as the lever to bend them into line. From a European vantage point, that is the part worth sitting with. In Germany, universities and the state argue constantly over funding, over research priorities, over politics. What we do not typically see is a head of government personally selecting one institution as an enemy and deploying lawsuit after lawsuit, funding cut after funding cut, until something sticks. The genuine problem of campus anti-Semitism becomes the weapon, not the cause. Harvard, with its roughly $50 billion endowment, can afford the lawyers to survive this. Most institutions cannot, and that is precisely the point of the pressure. The smaller ones are watching and calculating what it costs to say no. Twice now the courts have held the line. The question is how many more times a government is willing to lose in public before the losing stops mattering. That's the view from here. What does it look like where you are? Drop it in the comments and subscribe for the perspective American media won't give you.